Welcome to the Short Funk Podcast. I'm Tom Barbalet, and today, the Peanuts movie. I had a couple of days off. I was really still called by work and had various other bits and pieces going on over these days off. But effectively, I was not in the office, and I had some free time where I didn't have to be in telephone contact. My wife and I went through a list of films that we considered seeing, but as the nature of the married life goes, the film my wife wanted to see was the Peanuts movie, and really I didn't have a film that I wanted to see equivalent to the Peanuts movie. So we went to the Peanuts movie. If you're familiar with the whole Peanuts franchise, particularly the Christmas movie Peanuts franchise, I associate it with psychedelia. The whole framing of these films, and I can't think of the various names, but there are about 3 of these films that I've watched. Living in the US, it just seems to be something that one does. They're available, they come annually, you sit down and you watch them. There's a lot of ice skating, there's a lot of crazy jazz music, there's a lot of strange framing, which I think is just part of the franchise associated with these particular films. And the Peanuts movie doesn't stray at all from these broader themes, aside from the fact that it's slightly three-dimensional. You are in the 1950s in Minnesota. You're not in any way in the modern world. There's no attempt to try and modernize the Peanuts franchise. It's just a film in the 1950s with, of course, Snoopy's wild antics associated with the Red Baron, which features for somewhere between a third and a half of the film. So if you're like my wife and you don't particularly like that aspect of the Peanuts franchise, it's going to be there, it's going to be playing, it's going to happen. It is genuinely a feel-good film. There's a trailer at the start, or I guess what one would call a short at the start, which is particularly curious and modern, but you're not really getting more for your buck. I wonder if it will translate to a modern audience. I wonder if it will translate to children. It appeared from the cinema that the children that were there were well indoctrinated in the Peanuts franchise and understood exactly what was going on, laughed at appropriate times, and just seemed to really get, I guess, the Peanuts universe. From my perspective, I watched a bunch of them. I find them relatively unoffensive. I wasn't particularly offended by this one. I thought it might be interesting to take the Peanuts kids and move them into the modern day. And having talked to my wife afterwards, a number of the things that I thought might be new for the franchise actually turned out to be from the franchise, just not covered in the previous Christmas movies and various other things that I had seen. If you want to take a group of folks to see a film that won't offend anyone, I think the Peanuts movie is it. My perspective is, if it's within the genre, it is what it is. Would I have liked to see something slightly more challenging, perhaps? But it's the children taking on their father's legacy and trying to produce something that is similar but modernized. And in that light, the Peanuts movie was unoffensive, unassuming, and, I would see it on television if I had nothing better to do in the future. Tom Barbalet in San Jose, signing out.